twist adds up to the old song. And the grass suffers, and the main actors to take their turns on Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, mainland 98.3 FM. The Situation Room, we are always watching.
That's why again say there, the eyes have it.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money filed on government. To wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. Always.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to this. And of course, today is the 15th day of the month of April 20th. Because today we're still going to continue on that line of thought. Religious issues and crises that are going on in the Middle Belt have lost their lives in local government. One people, Development Association, unfortunate killing in the early hours of yesterday. Upstate, and I mean it's really been tough, and maybe the administration of government state, he came in May 2023, and as early as August, local government, it looks like everything subsided. And then I remember we had development now, by the way, and we talked about it. What exactly is the and just end dreams and end aspiration of? Unfortunately, it looks like the governor is this issue. It's always coming up with the old it's he's also always talking about, and you ask yourself, as the governor of a state, the protection of lives and properties of the people that have voted you into office. Today we're still going to focus on the issue, and on the short, this is a conversation that you and I should be interested in, because first off, it's not just about it's a Middle Belt thing. It's news and reports of killings, people being killed innocently, even in war zones in Russia and Ukraine. I'm not sure it is in a single day. It's tough, especially when you now a lot of coloration to some of these issues. Is it religious, the others, and the farmers clash? You also look at Benue, for instance, and the question are these marauding killers. Who are the people sponsoring them? I mean, you look occasion. I mean, whether the poison attacked you, you fought. It's really crazy, and then you can't really wrap your having all of these kind of issues. Unfortunately, it's a responsibility of the government at every level, from the federal to the local, when the people can't even go to their farms. I mean, the rainy season is here upon us, and this is almost about the food crisis in the country, but the farms are no longer survived by bandits. It's really disturbing, and the bloodletting in the last couple of years to the influx of Boko Haram terrorists to be some of the states have hosted the largest number of internally religious dominance is also another factor that has been key. Is the former Labour Party governorship candidate in Kaduna State. He joined Good Life Matters in this country. Whether alignments, I should feel free to live in, and asking the questions: don't we deserve to be properly protected? Don't we deserve to have a life? Should we continue to live in the IDPs? Imagine a situation where, apart from the northeastern part of the northeastern part of the country, the Middle Belt has all of those. It is the Situation Room live on.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must rise to it. Yes.
A new day, a new event. Old actors meet new one. Right. And the grass suffers and the ground shakes. Their turns on pressing issues, dissecting event to Friday from 4 to 5.
That's why again. The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation.
Hello?
Okay, thank you very much for still staying with us. And at Kaduna People's Forum. And of course, the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidate in Kaduna State, Honorable Jonathan Asake, joins me on the show today to look at some of the issues that we've been dealing with. John, good to have you join us today.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
My birthday too.
Ooh. I will try and reconnect with the guests. And okay, Jonathan, happy birthday to you once again. Okay, I'm sure after.
Yes.
Okay, so across the Middle Belt region, 10 years, I think I saw board of His Excellency Governor Sᴛᴜᴛ Kaduna, the government of the gruesomely murdered in government. I mean, you've been a state. Talk to us about this circle of how did we get to where we are today, where human lives
back. This the southern part of the country, and of a very long time. And if you may heighten, and then the killings in the Middle Belt, and in some parts of the south, for killings, to the president himself at that time, his name, before the international community, and had a free access, and when I was Sokapo president, the Southern Dakota People's Union president, and nothing was being done about it. All we could do was to cry out. It starts everywhere now. We're shouting. So this wave of killings that we're seeing with other people, that they should brace up, because the killings will kill up as a president. That has not. This is the signal is given. This is.
So we're going to get into this in terms of the politicization of all of these chaos. But I didn't even think it was going to start the conversation. Different things of the asylum in section and properties, all in these responsibilities, because in hundreds of thousands, family from their families, maybe forever, as much
in a very short time. It's because the way our leaders emerged. Then you will get leaders that can correct them. But when leaders emerge, criminalities, and when they have a hold on political power, to have the economic power and hand grabbing, as we said, which leads to expansionists. Then they took the Hausa leaders and took over and appointed Fulani emirs. And the problem, which were not subdued, and towards the south, who was a leader, has not deemed it fitly. Now another country has gone where they lack. They might show you, like I said earlier, the people power. I was there, I saw it offering to the families of those people. Yesterday, they begged the governor of Plateau State or to beg the governor of Benue State and say, please let us see how we can love matter.
Honorable Asake, I mean, you fought as a move of Plateau State. I mean, you've opened it up. Even the governor himself said the killings that some Sikhen have said, the people that is it to destabilize his government or to discredit all of the things he's been doing. Because I followed the election of Minister of that's now Senator Simon Bakola, an election in a state controlled by the AP, win the president. Just
we are truly on top of this situation, and we'll go to any length, be able to pick up, no matter how irrelevant you think it is. I want to react.
State that he is truly on top of the situation. One, that now this is the twist operation along that he's asking the public help improving or providing solutions to some of these problems.
The situation is as complex as it is, but also as simple with the present setting that information, sources of information, and in the Plateau or Benue or Southern Kaduna. Our northern gangs from outset and whatever they agree to ransom in America as a president comes in and say, I want to build a wall to take his pen and safety, they can be secured. That is an order. Agenda is all of the country, of course. So their imagination, and so it's from Niger, is not checked. it's going to be worse than it has.
In the face. Now, let me, if has its own issues now, the South in securing their own people, but that went on for about 7 hours. That's on the 20 communities, and this community was spread across Boko, a 7-hour operation. And you ask yourself, Honorable Jonathan Asake, what do you, because how do you escaped and nobody, or you think the disadvantage?
Even the governor of it can only solve the problem for it. Truly, even and then attacking innocent. You don't have a clash that only one side is being killed.
There's no balance of terror.
There must be balance. Also, if you see the security agencies who are always very helpless because they are stopped from doing their work, so they only go in and always say it. Whenever there is attack in our communities in Southern Kaduna at that time, impose a 24-hour curfew. There was a time he imposed a 24-hour curfew on the attack community. So people were dying and more havoc on the communities. So this is how our complicity, they are part of the sponsors, or they are,
your life on Mainland 98.3. He was also the Labour Party, and Asake, he was also really familiar with some of the challenge issues. Before we let you go, the Northern was an agenda for Southern president. Left the PDP to the APC rather sponsored, and you are sponsors of these genocidal
on their homework. And the most difficult thing to do that we still don't know. Why are they still keeping that list on? Now, this is typical of what we have in destruction every day, especially that of Boko Haram. They are not letting Nigerians to know. And let me tell you, the governor of coming back again, and many communities have been taken. But there is one thing that you must also know from there. Members, fighters, are being innocent girls that they kidnapped and molested and they're supposed to book. And then they put in IDP camps. Nobody is taking care of them. They are dying in their numbers, giving them food, they are giving them accommodation. Does that make any logic to anybody over the world, even not Nigeria? Leadership, anywhere in the world, if you make it, but if when the people troop out to vote, institutions of like that will never have the. You understand where I'm going?
I'm with you.
So in the court, corruption has touched on everybody. That will introduce some radical reforms within the national institutions that we have. The way you win election, it matters a lot. When one vote can make somebody who's talking about. When you are, that is the hour, rise up and say enough.
Quickly, because I would love you to do with some of the our former governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and on both occasions 2 years since our governor Ubasani became larger part of Kaduna generally. What has he done bring some form of peace into that region?
He showed that he wants to do it differently. And Nasir El-Rufai never was reaching out to anybody. He will always tell you can go to hell. As long as he believes that you don't mean anything to him, or he doesn't like you. He doesn't like you, and he's 8 years. You can never tell of any the people there. So Obasani came and he was reaching out. The southern and the northern part, Christians and Muslims and other people, and even other people from other states staying in the state. If a leader starts like this, with the former leader, and in terms of reassurance, the issue now, the fact is that in terms of people to brace up, but I really hope that the people will come back to the root you hold in the country to come up with. Being declared on the plan, Rivers State, we're seeing what is while still working on the long-term solutions. Let's back to in 2027. Of what happened, the addict believe and claim to feel that he is not playing in fact, that he will not be all included one. Our former governor is one of them because he has said, look, he championed the Muslim ticket. And he tried it in Kaduna State, it worked. He did it at the national level. So he is so disappointed with his religion. People are talking about technology. It's disappointing some of us. So it knows the best practices of democracy around the world. So he cannot come and reduce himself to name. And so if he is not doing their bidding, to them they feel disappointed and they must remove him at all costs. that they can also bring them, and we will not accept that. That is a good leader. He understands another person. That's all.
A few calls to pick, and I know the people will want to ask you some questions. Hello?
Hello, yeah. I'm
at this depth, this level of information that you've shared with Jonathan Asake, the past president of the Southern Kaduna, ending cycle of ethnic and religious violence in the killings that have been going on from Plateau to Benue to Nasarawa to 300 people have lost their lives between the perpetrators of these killings to justice. And until that is done, no response. We're also streaming on Facebook, really brief, and so that we can take as much calls as we can.
One thing I commiserate with people on it, but at the same time, I will disagree with Yoruba, pure Yoruba person from Osun State. Mostly because or somebody sponsored. These people something. At the end of the day, they didn't give Yoruba anything. So all these things goes on. It's not voted in Second Republic. Tinubu has not delivered
Thank you, Engineer.
at all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Keep your calls coming in 0913600. Conversation about the killings going on in the Middle Belt. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, bro.
You're welcome.
This is Tဃᴇ. Also, this is insecurity. Fortunate that we in the South, we are just missing it. If a politician, you understand me? Here in the South,
if you're lucky to still join us on the
I can hear you. This meets with that of your guest. Aside from where you talk about El-Rufai, trying to malign it, you are not the action you took, because Buhari actually has, that is that. So I also have interest about the Nigerians. I could remember when Jonathan could not, deliver on the mandate at the end of our phase, can stand on situation because see the way they are killing who made it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Jonathan, you a little bit off, the point. Very valid point. He said, in treasure on the administration of former president, become the president. But look at what we have just a few minutes ago just endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going into the 2027 election. The Labour Party, it could be. Would you also doing so much in terms of building an opposition that really? How would you rate the opposition in the last 2 years?
Institutions. There are leaders that emerge that will always say, even Buhari administration was better than this one. It's because, and the second caller said, well, that people like El-Rufai, I not the secretary of government or a minister. I'm telling you, the story is not that he really wanted a northerner had been president for 8 years. It was not going to tell that if he argues for a southern, believe that if they bring in Tinubu, then he cannot get there and he's not closer to the presidency. But if he becomes a vice president, as Ronin made, and he today, he has not. So the issues here are not about he did not say. So anybody saying that because El-Rufai was not taken away, if Tinubu already, you know what happened between Obasanjo writing on the wall. Anybody that is receiving himself, El-Rufai did not support Tinubu sincerely. He had his own hidden and push, and then get there.
Okay, let's go.
When you don't start like this, we need to go stop all our work.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, when you see somebody of El-Rufai standing, look at all the way he when he should be the dialogue of us. Like one of the lawyers said with the faction. Those who say if you kill a cow and we kill one be replaced, it means you need dialogue. Not it can be settled.
Thank you, Prince Vice.
Finally.
Thank you, Prince Vice. We have a lot of calls. I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, glory be to God. I think it's not challenging, but it's not meant to discuss his opinion anyway. But I say, if you say Tinubu deliver, past 8 years of APC of Buhari, which was been very lump sum and a very lot of accident that has happened. But last is going to put Nigeria on a tourist state. It might not be democracy, not something you for the Nigerians to start think of defending themselves. Now, developing our youth to guide us while we are sleeping. Those who kill the knife, and give us information. Why do we not build that? Why do you follow them and allow them to politicize your life? And like what your guest has said, instead he has given people call to be reawakened. Don't believe in government. Find a way to, you can defend yourself sometimes with a wood and stay awake in Nigeria, no matter who the tribe is. No, any tribe will not.
This is Steve Offer, and it says the failure of this government in security, just like many other aspects, is definitely going to be worse than that of the Buhari's administration, or to that of a few kingmakers. Is either you choose not to engage in jungle justice, if people can be killed without intervention of the security agencies, and enough is enough of this madness. Where is the sponsors? Where is the Boko Haram sponsors list? Nigeria is in a fragile state now, and Tinubu is enjoying himself in France. We are watching and we are calculating. Watching it. How can over 100 people be killed in the last 2 weeks and over 50 people killed in this week? Is it animals that will vote for them? The president that is being voted for to protect lives and properties of the people is out of the country, releasing press release, and that doesn't hold water. What a country and what the people. That is Benjamin from Southern Kaduna, and other middle belt zones are politically motivated. Ayola from Egbeda. Okay, more messages coming in. This one says, good evening, Okwe. God bless your guest. The people of Plateau State, just in bracket, knows that to end this chaos, the governor would have to be responsible. Whether it's being sponsored or not, country will not burn. This country will thrive. Thank you very much. Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm on the road. I'm very.
Okay, go on, Mr. Samuel.
Please, quickly, I want to say something concerning what your guest just said. Even Tinubu himself, as a president, when he supported Buhari, he himself have ambition is that I don't have any sympathy for any politician. They are there for their personal interest. So the president, the president know what he says.
I mean, it's really tough trying to establish that conversation. Mr. Tğğ Joshua, please make it quick. Thank you for calling back.
All right, bro. Like I was saying today or day before yesterday, it was very at this particular tenor. You understand me? We are bringing in another staff to the north. You know, we are leaving the quality of President Tinubu may not favor everybody. After this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tğğ Joshua. Let me pick a couple of messages we have at them. It says, your guest, Honorable Jonathan, has a depth of knowledge about the subject of discourse and he has analyzed it objectively. However, we all ought to presidential elections. The Northerners are so bent on not having a Southerner lead them again because of their fake belief, hence its defection to the SDP. The immediate solution to the challenge is for the federal government to massively deploy the military to Plateau State to crush the insurgents, wiping them outright. Let me get back to my guest, Honorable Jonathan. Thank you very much for being patient with us. I'm sure you've listened to some of the messages and the calls. You want to respond to some of that. And before you also leave, talk to us about the decision of the PDP governors to announce that they would not be part of any coalition ahead of the 2027 election. Let's wrap it up from there. I wanted to respond to a few of them and also respond to the decision of the PDP Governors Forum to announce yesterday that they will not be part of any coalition ahead of the 2027. Parliament would complete its 8th term in office. What does that say about the election going forward in 2027?
Well, they thought about the issue of Southern presidency versus Northern presidency. That is the truth of the matter. If these people coming up with a coalition are saying, okay, they are leadership, they can mobilize Nigerians. That is what democracy is supposed to be. They can help to put resources together to mobilize Nigerians to vote him out, but vote him in another Southern candidate. Exactly. But when they are now coming just 4 years after 4 years, they are saying they want to bring in a northern caller say that there is nothing wrong in somebody having an ambition of other people. That it can even put the country in the line of job, and is that he is calculating anyway that leadership should come back, and if he can benefit from it, after 4 years of
for spending almost 90 minutes with us on the show today. I had to take care of your birthday celebration, and let me wish I will give you that. Thank you so much, Honorable Jonathan Asaki. Different than these that we have. Thank you so much. Labour Party governorship candidate, People's Union, all of these. How the players can choose to act. Country must be absolutely protected. There's nothing you want to do about it. Imagine losing almost 300 of your citizens within the space of a month, and the president had not seen the need for him to cut short his state visit against the democracy that people put their lives on the line. To a couple of minutes to call it a day on the show, so let me pick more calls. Hello, good evening. You're welcome, Ufoma. Thank you. Yes. I don't want to drop the call.
Okay, Akshay. Is it okay now?
I think it's getting better now.
Okay, thank you. Your second guest yesterday, he threw more light about the issue of the Plateau State. I think that, he threw more light. And for me, the Plateau issue is a solvable issue. So, every single problem with Plateau will just be bad by today. That is it. Or maybe they're not to vote for him then. So then they don't wake up
at all, and it's not making the conversation flow. So let me read a couple of messages here. Dr. Prince from Mojo is texting, and he says, on the challenge of insecurity in a part of the country, especially the north, Plateau State to be specific, the federal government is showing signs of weakness, fear, and the part of the opposition parties, there must be coalition of political parties before they can be sure of defeating the incumbent president Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the ruling APC. The persons involved should bury their ego and speak truth to themselves. God save Nigeria. Dr. Prince from Mojo Alaba, thank you very much for texting on texting us here. Like one of you have failed woefully. James from Agbado Junks, that Bat as a president is the architect of the misfortune bedeviling in darkness in all through. Okay, let's call on the show today. Good evening. Let me quickly stop on Facebook to read a couple of back cleansing. The president would have to act fast. He has to. God bless your station and God bless you. That is Ayola. Is Mainland FM Sunset News, and by 6 o'clock, it's going to be the return leg at the Villa Park at the Signal Iduna between Boris. We'll be able to turn it around, or perhaps you think of PSG. Stick around, but that will be. More importantly, of the Southern Kaduna People's Union. Thank you. The program returns tomorrow, same station, Mainland 98, and I will drill you through everything you need to know about politics, especially the unfortunate case. Keep your dialogue only on Mainland 98 program.